this new subreddit called Volunteers for Ukraine, reddit.com/r/volunteers for Ukraine. This is a subreddit full of people who have a strong desire to drop their lives, abandon their children and their wives, and fly to Poland, drive to the Ukrainian border, and volunteer to join the Ukrainian army and fight the Russian invaders. So there's all these people on Facebook that are making statuses like, oh my God, am I going to be drafted to fight Russia? And these other people are like, no, bro, I'm a volunteer. So I wanted to do some research on this whole Ukrainian army that these Redditors want to join. And you'll notice that the Redditors, if you look at their post history, you can see that they have specific ideological beliefs. Most of them are, what's that word again? Anti-fascist, right? Anti-neo-Nazi specifically is pretty much core to their identity. Now, I watched Putin's speech. I know, we're not supposed to do that. And I also know Russian. I know, I'm not supposed to do that. Я говорю по-русски. So, in his speech, Putin says something very peculiar that a lot of Western media outlets have pointed out. He said that there's 3 reasons why he's invading Ukraine. 3 main reasons. They're kind of all equal in importance. One of them is the denazification of Ukraine. Now, Western media jumped all over that term that Putin used in his speech. And he did. He said, how do you pronounce it? Neo-Naziteri is exactly what he said. And I specifically went and looked for that because I was like, well, is he saying like the fascification? Because it doesn't make any sense, right? Because as Western media quickly pointed out, the leader of Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, is Jewish. And so they said, oh my gosh, why is he saying that he's trying to denazify a country whose president is Jewish? Just like all of the Black Lives Matter people were protesting in a country where we elected a black president. It's impossible for there to be racism, and it's impossible for there to be anti-Semitism. If it's impossible for there to be racism in a country with a black president, then it must be impossible for there to be anti-Semitism in a country with a Jewish president. However, what I found is that when Putin talks about Nazis in Ukraine, he's really not talking about the anti-Semitism. And so to make Putin sound illogical and insane, everybody tried to say, well, these Ukrainian Nazis that don't exist because there's no anti-Semitism. Well, the Ukrainian Nazis unfortunately do exist. And my concern for Reddit people going to Ukraine is that I know that they'll be covered in anti-fascist patches. I know that they will have patches that have the swastika with an X through it. And I'm concerned that when they meet Ukrainian soldiers that have a swastika without a cross through it, that there will be a conflict there. That actually these Reddit volunteers will be killed by the Ukrainians instead of the Russians. All right, now that might sound like an extreme opinion here, but we really need to look at the history of Ukraine a little bit closer. All right, which is what I did, because I said, it doesn't make sense. If they have such a bad Nazi problem, how can they have a president who's Jewish? Well, because the Nazis of Ukraine aren't really concerned with Judaism. I guess they just decided, well, Hitler couldn't defeat the Jews. So let's just not worry about the Jews. We'll just bribe the Jews. That seems to be the easier way to handle that problem. So we'll just bribe the Jews, and we'll focus, and they're almost white. So we'll focus on white. The neo-Nazis of Ukraine are very focused on white rights. Now, listen. I see I'm losing some of you. Listen, here. Okay, I'm not saying that everybody in Ukraine is a neo-Nazi. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there is a government-sanctioned neo-Nazi force. All right, so just let me explain how this occurred. So, okay, do you guys remember the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017? Very big deal. Somebody got run over by a car and died, Heather. And then you've got the founder of the Proud Boys. Well, in America, what happened with this is we had the Unite the Right rally. We had the Nazis come out with their torches and with their rituals and doing what they saw the actual Nazis do and saluting Hitler, doing all that crap. Well, the same thing happened in Ukraine, and it was led by the Azov Battalion, which was founded by a Mr. Andriy Belitsky. All right, so Andriy Belitsky is basically Gavin McGinnis of Ukraine, founded the Proud Boys, founded Azov Battalion. However, in America, when his neo-Nazi group got really extreme and started doing the Hitler stuff and killed someone, he said, I'm out. And our government said they're going to prison. You know, they actually did arrest, for whatever reason that they could, any leaders of the Unite the Right rally. That's what happened in America. In Ukraine, they took their leader, Andriy Belitsky, who, when they killed people, which they did, he did get arrested for the killing of a person. Somebody went down to their offices and said that their neo-Nazi stuff that they were doing online was bad, and there was a fight, and they beat him up, and then a month later they killed that guy. So that was the thing that happened. He went to prison for 2 years for instigating that problem. I don't think he was found for actually stabbing the guy. Details. Anyways, later on, we had this whole thing in Ukraine happen with Crimea. And when that happened, the president of the country was like, ooh, wow, these Russians in eastern Ukraine, bordering Russia, they really don't like me. But you know, I've got this guy in prison, kind of like Hitler, but he says that he doesn't really care about Jews anymore, but he really hates Russians. And he's really good at getting other people to hate Russians. So I'm going to actually let him out of prison. Sounds a lot like Hitler, okay? Sounding more and more like Hitler every day. I'm going to go ahead and let this guy out of prison. And I'm also going to promote him to the leader of my National Guard. And so he did. And then, as a response to the annexing of Crimea, they decided to take the part of Russia that has the largest percentage of Russians, or the part of Ukraine that has the largest percentage of Russians, and start shelling them. Especially immediately after Crimea, they were bombing them every day, and people that couldn't get out of there quickly, which was mostly old people and children, because young people have an easier time of packing up and going, were largely killed. And we have a lot of documentation of this. We have a lot of documentation from the Azov Battalion, who were very proud of killing the Russians. And they posted a lot of videos of them driving through the Donbass neighborhoods and blindly shooting into houses. They have videos of them with rocket launchers just shooting blindly into these neighborhoods where schools were shot, 250 children were killed, and lots of old people were killed. And there's lots of pictures and videos of all this, so we know that all of this happened. All right, mostly, however, to be fair, mostly in 2014. By now, it's died down a lot, and their neighborhoods are only attacked by these neo-Nazi groups every few months. So I was doing research on this, and I was like, Well, one of the first things I did was I looked up this Andriy Belitsky on Wikipedia. On American Wikipedia, it said yes, he was the founder of the Azov Battalion. Yes, he was transcripted in 2014 to be part of the Ukrainian National Guard, the leader of the National Guard. However, his service ended in 2016. It just says in the little informational bar, 2014 to 2016 on America's Wikipedia. So then I go to Russia's Wikipedia, which is, ru.wikipedia. ru.m.wikipedia was mobile, but, and on there it says 2014 with just a dash, alluding to present. And that's what it says on the Wikipedia page when you look under his career, that he is still very much so the leader of the National Guard in Ukraine. So, American Wikipedia says 2014 to 2016. Oh, that was a little extreme. 2 years is enough of just indiscriminately murdering Russian civilians for being Russian. All right, but they stopped it. Russian Wikipedia says, no, he's still in charge, still doing it, just not as much. So, I was like, who is telling the truth? Why would they lie? And I went to, I looked up the Russian version of his name, and I went to his actual Russian Twitter account, which is very convenient. So Andriy Belitsky Twitter in Russian. And it says, well, in Ukrainian, sorry. They're so different. They're so completely different languages. Just like Spanish and English. Well, not just like Spanish, but almost just like Spanish and English, all right? That's racist. So, and it says, in Ukrainian, Liter Party National Corps, sorry. Click on that, and that is, in fact, Ukrainian's National Guard's official Twitter account that he has linked in his bio. Yeah, turns out that according to him, he's still the leader of the National Guard. According to the National Guard, he's still the leader of the National Guard. But according to America, no, that stopped. All right. So that is the story. So here's my concern. We've got all of these people on Reddit that would like to go join these Ukrainian forces. And I am concerned because these usually ascribe to the same far left ideas, and they're going to be going there with extreme white supremacists and signing a contract to join the Ukrainian military for 3 years. And I don't think that they understand the implications of what they're signing up for. And that is my concern with this whole issue right now, my main concern. I thought to myself, God has the craziest sense of humor for this situation to develop the way that it has. For the most virulent, far left anti-fascist members of Western society have been brainwashed into joining a military whose command is publicly very neo-Nazi, very white supremacist, extremely racist, and basically the opposite of their
Блядь, смотрите, что происходит на Оболоне, блядь, ебать, вся Оболонь, блядь, все мужчины, блядь, собираются, блядь, посмотрите, как все будет. Приходите, мы вас будем всех встречать. Даже без документов разжили. Приходи, защищай свое государство Украину. Слава Украине!
Вон они на той, они в парке, и вот здесь возле АТБ, короче, вот один лег. Короче, один лег. Ребят, это пиздец какой-то. Это где-то к нам. Короче, не знаю, то ли наши справа, то ли что. Блять. Пиздец.
Залез вот в дом, мародер походу, с ножом. Убили. Винница.